Up to 70% of AI initiatives at small and medium businesses are being abandoned. I'm not talking about some niche, experimental tech. These are core AI implementations, costing companies millions, failing at a staggering rate. And when they fail, budgets are blown by 20% to 70%. But here's the kicker. Successful AI projects, they return £3.70 for every single pound invested. This isn't just about the financial outlay, though that's huge. It's about the hidden price of botched strategy, eroding market position, damaging reputation, and demoralizing your entire team. So, what's actually going wrong? And more importantly, how do you make sure your AI investment is one of the 30% that actually pays off? In this video, we're diving deep into the real cost of AI implementation for SMEs in 2026. In 2025, a study on AI implementation in small to medium-sized businesses revealed that up to 70% of these initiatives are abandoned, with costs blowing past budgets by 20 to 70%. This isn't just about wasted money. It's about lost opportunities and demoralized teams. Another report from the TSI Help Center called Poor Strategy Execution a Silent Killer, eroding market position, draining finances, and damaging reputations. Think about it. In a world where data is everywhere, where AI can write an entire marketing plan in minutes, why are so many strategic initiatives still failing? Why are companies still struggling to turn vision into reality? Today, we're diving into the real cost of. We're not talking about sticker prices or what you see on the invoice. We're dissecting the hidden expenses, the opportunity costs, and the long-term impact of decisions that often look good on paper but falter in execution. This isn't just about AI. It's about strategy itself. What does it really cost to develop a robust business strategy? And more importantly, what does it cost when that strategy, no matter how brilliant, simply doesn't stick? We'll look at the critical difference between having a plan and actually making it happen, and why so many businesses are leaving significant value on the table. Because while successful AI implementations deliver an impressive £3.70 return for every pound invested, that only happens if you make it past that 70% failure rate. Let's unpack what's happening here. In August 2025, the TSI Help Center published an article identifying poor strategy implementation as a silent killer. This isn't just about bad ideas. According to Christian Luoma, co-founder of and-parallel.com, writing in February 2025, it's about poor execution costing companies billions. Beyond the monetary drain on finances, this silent killer erodes market position, severely damages a company's reputation, and deeply demoralizes the workforce. Think of a startup that secures a huge Series A, outlines an ambitious product roadmap, but then founders get bogged down in micromanagement and internal politics. The vision is there, the funding is there, but the execution falters. Suddenly, those millions burn faster than expected, and top talent starts looking elsewhere. A robust business strategy is essential for survival and growth, acting as the big-picture framework for decisions and resource allocation. Without this clear strategy, a business lacks a roadmap for informed decisions, risking aimless resource utilization and a failure to achieve long-term goals, a point Scott O'Reilly highlighted in November 2024. Jason Heckel, in his November 2020 article on strategic planning costs, even points out the mystery around strategic planning fees, arguing that a lack of transparency often signals a lack of clarity in execution planning. What this teaches us is that a brilliant strategy on paper is worthless without effective execution. It's the gap between intention and action where companies often stumble. This leads directly into understanding why, despite all this, AI's promise and peril for SMEs is such a roller coaster. In a comprehensive analysis titled The Real Cost of AI Implementation for SMEs, published on September 11, 2025, by the strategic advisory firm GigCMO, a truly staggering fact emerged. A full 70% of AI initiatives undertaken by small and medium-sized enterprises are ultimately abandoned. This isn't merely about projects underperforming. These companies are routinely witnessing their costs balloon by 20 to 70%, sometimes even 80% beyond initial budget allocations. Consider a real-world scenario, like Apex Manufacturing, a specialty parts supplier in Ohio. They invested an initial $500,000 into an AI-driven predictive maintenance system for their CNC machines, only to halt the project after spending $725,000, a 45% overrun, with no tangible, deployable solution. Yet, the promise of AI remains incredibly strong, a beacon drawing businesses forward. The very same gig CMO analysis, which meticulously triangulated data gleaned from AI-powered research platforms like ChatGPT and insights from Perplexity, also revealed that successful AI implementations deliver a powerful return. £3.70 for every single pound invested. This translates to an impressive $3.70 back for every dollar allocated. This incredible discrepancy, a 70% project abandonment rate juxtaposed with a nearly 400% ROI for successful ventures, points directly to a critical, systemic gap. It's unequivocally not the underlying technology itself that's the problem. Rather, it's the strategic planning, diligent execution, and effective change management. SMEs are clearly struggling to bridge the chasm between recognizing AI's immense potential and actually implementing it in a way that generates real, measurable value, often leading to wasted investment in what should be a profoundly transformative technology. This pervasive problem inevitably leads us directly to the high price of leadership missteps. In the high-stakes corporate arena, the selection of an unsuitable CEO can inflict a devastating financial blow, potentially costing a global organization upwards of $100 billion, a figure derived from analyses of major company valuations and their subsequent declines. This isn't merely a fleeting dip in stock value. It represents a profound, systemic erosion of market capitalization, stifled innovation, lost competitive momentum, and a critical breakdown of internal trust. Consider the insidious cascade of consequences. A major strategic miscalculation by a CEO often originates from a chaotic decision-making process, mixing 6 different thoughts at once, as leadership expert Eric Pertaker insightfully observed in a LinkedIn post on November 12, 2023. Such a single, poorly formed decision can cost your company millions, impacting everything from product development cycles to supply chain resilience. The ripple effect extends profoundly to external perception. Investors, for instance, are acutely sensitive to CEO reputation. Studies indicate that nearly 1/3 of all institutional investment decisions, specifically around 32%, are directly influenced by the perceived credibility and past performance of a company's chief executive, with a significant 39% of investors citing it as a major sway factor in their buy-sell calculus. This isn't abstract economic theory. We witnessed it starkly in the market's response to the abrupt departure of Adam Neumann from WeWork, or the prolonged struggles at HP under successive misaligned leaders. As exec capital recruitment meticulously detailed in their August 15, 2024, industry report, the crucial distinction lies between a CEO's day-to-day operational execution and an owner's overarching strategic oversight, underscoring precisely where these colossal, costly decisions are truly conceived. To accurately quantify the true cost of revenue and long-term viability, we must first grapple with this fundamental and often expensive link between leadership acumen and financial outcomes. In October 2025, Lior Ronen, founder and CEO of Finro Financial Consulting, articulated a foundational truth for sustainable business growth. The cost of revenues, COR, represents the entire financial outlay necessary to produce or deliver a product or service. This metric extends far beyond mere raw materials, encompassing both direct costs, such as the specific components for a manufactured good or the direct labor hours for a service, and a proportional allocation of indirect overheads like facility rent, utilities, and even depreciation of production equipment. Esteemed finance writer Jason Berwanger further elaborated on this crucial concept on February 14, 2026, emphasizing its particular significance for service-based and software-as-a-service (SaaS) companies. Consider a typical SaaS provider, such as Cloud Sync Solutions. Their direct costs would include server infrastructure spend, e.g., AWS EC2 instance hours, salaries for product-focused developers maintaining the core platform, and essential third-party API licensing fees. However, the COR also critically integrates a proportional share of their corporate office rent, electricity consumption for their primary data centers, or even the compensation for their dedicated customer support specialists who directly enable service delivery. Without a precise understanding and meticulous management of this COR, which Finro Financial Consulting's 2025 report indicated is often miscalculated by up to 15% in growing startups, companies invariably face inaccurate financial projections, resulting in significantly diminished profitability and misguided strategic decisions. It's more than just an accounting entry. It's a direct and dynamic indicator of operational efficiency and overall financial health, profoundly impacting everything from reported gross profit margins to crucial future investment attraction. For any entrepreneur building a viable enterprise, comprehending your COR is as fundamental as understanding your core product offering. And just as understanding the cost of revenue is essential for operational success, so too is evaluating the actual, tangible impact of your marketing spend. Which leads us to events. Beyond attendance to real ROI. Beyond the immediate draw of flashy lights and free swag. Understanding the true return on investment for events remains a significant challenge for businesses. Alex Simos, in his December 13, 2018 article, The Real Deal of Event ROI, highlighted a critical truth. Proving event ROI isn't just about justifying a marketing budget. It's essential for securing repeat funding. He specifically called out the common one-size-fits-all approach to setting KPIs, arguing that merely tracking number of attendees, booth visits, and leads generated is severely limiting. Simos critiques these common metrics as insufficient comprehensive indicators of true effectiveness, often failing to capture the broader impact and long-term value. For example, a CMO mentioned in a December 5, 2025 article asked, "We spent $150,000 on virtual events last quarter. What revenue did we generate?" And was met with marketers reporting 2,347 total registrations. That's the disconnect. It's a similar focus seen in the gov.uk publication, measuring the legacy and impact of major events, which between October 2023 and July 2025 developed a toolkit emphasizing comprehensive impact assessment beyond simple attendance figures. This isn't just about B2B demand gen. It's about shifting perspective. While the global event marketing industry is projected to reach $36.31 billion by 2026, according to a February 13, 2026 Launchmetrics content team article, that investment needs to be tied to tangible outcomes. Real event ROI requires a deeper analysis, moving beyond easily quantifiable vanity metrics to understand the strategic and lasting outcomes that truly justify the investment. What this teaches us is that without a clear, robust framework for measuring impact, event spending becomes a black box. What all this ultimately teaches us is that the real cost isn't just about money leaving the bank account. It's the invisible erosion of market position, the hidden drain on employee morale, and the future opportunities that simply vanish because of unexamined assumptions or poor execution. From a CEO's misstep potentially costing $100 billion to 70% of SME AI initiatives being abandoned despite successful ones delivering a £3.70 return for every pound invested. These are not just financial setbacks, but existential threats. Understanding these true costs beyond the balance sheet is the only way to build resilience. So I'm curious. Have you ever been part of a project that spiraled because of hidden costs, whether it was leadership, strategy, or even a failed AI rollout? Share your stories and what you learned in the comments below. If you're keen on seeing through the corporate PR and understanding what truly drives success and failure in business and tech, hit that subscribe button. And if you liked this deep dive into hidden costs, my breakdown of the latest strategic moves by companies like NVIDIA, and how they're shaping the AI landscape is exactly what you should watch next.